Hey y'all, and welcome to the Sorry Not Sorry Generation podcast, where we bring you a not-so-healthy dose of humor and reality as we get our hands dirty with some serious nostalgia and question everything.
Let's dive in.
Hey
Hey y'all,
It's Misty,
it's Ani.
and we have a special guest today for appearing on our podcast for the very first time, my dear and lifelong friend, Ariel.
Hi.
Ariel is joining us to watch The Order of the Phoenix.
I cannot wait to hear what a teacher's perspective has to be on Umbridge herself.
Yes, Ariel is a teacher, and she's been a teacher for now, I believe, 5 years as of this year.
This is
5
my 5th year.
You've survived 5 years of these. That's
Bless your heart and your patience.
That's like 6 years longer than I would have made it, because you did like student teaching and stuff like that too. So like that's way longer than I would have.
Yeah, that was another year. So 6.
What age range?
I have 2nd grade, so there's 7-8-year-olds.
No, at least they're
Like,
not junior high.
Ariel is some kind of like miracle worker. Not only does she put up with the children, she manages to teach the children and spend time with them on a regular basis. Like infinitely more patience than I have ever possessed in my entire life together.
Do we have troublemakers in class? Or are they mostly all good and they listen to you?
Not this year. Last year,
Wow.
that was the horror story year. Tables thrown,
Oh my
chairs
gosh.
thrown, running out the room. Yeah, that's
And like
In
they're 7
8?
years old. Like they're 7. They're throwing things at you. Like Jesus.
Throwing tables? Like what the fuck?
I can't. I literally can't make this stuff up.
Like Ariel needs her own podcast of the shit that has happened to her. Like between that and like that teacher, that your partner teacher that you'd worked with, like whoever that other lady was, who I think in the entirety of the school year showed up for like a class a week, maybe, if we're lucky.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure her students knew the substitute way better than they knew her.
Well, the substitute, yeah, like they got to the point where the kids were like, "Yeah, she's not gonna come to school." I'm like, "Why? Why do you think she's not coming to school tomorrow?" Well, because it's Friday. She doesn't come on Friday.
It's like she wants her 3-day weekend, so she just doesn't show up. It's just like, and if it wasn't for the massive teacher shortage, I'm sure she would have been fired a long time ago. But because nobody actually cares, she gets to keep her job. So
high school, but I don't have to work with her, so that's good.
Yeah, thank goodness they gave you they did something else for you this year, because that was a nightmare and a half. Like no, I would again infinitely more patience than I have. Like we would have been burying holes in the backyard at this point. But like a month in, there would have been holes buried in the backyard with like your idiotic coworkers. I'm just like, no.
I would probably get. It's either I'd get fired in like a week, or like I'd have to quit because I'd commit murder on a child because they just tested my patience and I snapped.
I don't know if you could have gotten me in the building. That's the problem. like I would have shown up. First of all, I've never actually set foot in an elementary school, so that would have been a weird experience for me.
That's true, you haven't.
And
everything's very small.
Yeah,
They are.
it's pretty weird. And it's just like I wouldn't have known what to do with that. But the second we arrive, like the day, and like all the kids are showing up, oh no. I would have
and they all want to come hug the new person, and they just want to touch you and
they
slobber
do.
all over you.
Like yesterday was the first day of school for us, and it really is, from where I'm standing, like, because I stand at my doorway when the kids come in so I can greet them, but the way they come is like they turn the corner from like the front office area, and they just come in like a swarm down my hall.
Like locusts in a plague.
Because our school is just like this big circle, and so they either go like one of two ways, and go around, and it's just like, so from where I'm standing, it's just like a horde of children coming by.
Oh no! I would fight a horde of goblins before I would do that. I'd fight a horde of goblins with a chopstick before I'd do that. Like, no.
Goblins are
Well-
more appealing and I guess
Less clingy.
yeah.
And possibly
Than
based on your
children.
last class that you had, Ariel, possibly less likely to throw a chair at me, in all honesty. Like, your last batch of students were it's nice that they've gone on to different grades. So
Yes, and
Not my monkeys
it's
anymore.
so funny because I go in the hall, hi, and I'm like, hi, keep going to third grade.
it's like you wave at me like you didn't terrorize my whole life for
It's like,
a year.
hi. They gotta make
Like
sure
you
there's
didn't
no
act
chair.
like you hated my very existence. Like
It's like,
It's like,
but
why are
now
you waving at me? Is there a chair that you're just scraping behind you? And you're
Yeah.
pulling at me?
like,
no, the
thanks.
scariest thing last year, I had a child who brought in like a box cutter and had it in his desk and like was showing it to people.
Why?
There's 7. What the hell?
Who let him
No.
out the house with a box cutter?
Apparently, they don't pay attention, so I don't know. Because later in the year, he brought kitchen shears.
What the hell?
It was really weird. Like,
The 2nd grade. What the hell? I am so glad I didn't go to elementary school. Like, I
I
don't know if it would have
did,
been
but it
like
wasn't
that.
like that.
That's a fair. I will say I did go to preschool and kindergarten. Like I did do that. I just didn't do any of the numbered grades as. But I also
didn't
went
get
to
any of that.
I went to a Christian private school too. So like that was a different kind of a pain in the ass. So
If you had gone to high school at a Christian private school, you would have seen a different type of
I would have gotten expelled. Like, let's be honest. I would have told somebody to fuck off a little
Oh,
too
you would
loudly.
have, and everyone would be so petty about it. But also, you'd be, instead of like guns and knives coming around to the schools, you'd have like painkillers and cocaine and meth.
Yeah, it would have been
or-
like hard drugs rather than death.
I
Why?
did a Christian homeschool for high school, so that was fun.
Yeah, yeah. So that's definitely fair. Ariel and I both have very interesting, highly religious relatives too. So that's yeah.
I'm glad I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's honestly very fair. I don't wish it on anyone. So
No, I mean Aaron's got them too.
yeah, yeah. It's just something about really religious white people that just makes you want to turn around and go the other way. So
See, I think that's why. It's because I'm not white.
yeah, that's fair. So like, I don't know if you have like what crazy relatives in general, but ours are usually religious crazy. So
Yeah.
or
No, mine
like,
mine are very
start a cult kind of a thing. You know, maybe they don't like religions that already exist. Maybe they start a cult. So
No, the only cult leader that's going to be in this family is either me or my mother.
your mom. Definitely. But not a cult, a mob. Like, this woman could run the mob, and like,
yeah.
no hesitation. Like, I would pledge my allegiance to her as a mob leader. Like, no questions asked. Mm-mm. And just is if your mom and my mom ever meet, like, the United States doesn't have
Chaos.
any more political problems because there's not going to be anybody left. So, like, it's just going to be like they're going to destroy the United States together, and then it's just like
Your mom is going to be the one going in, like, blades in hand through the front doors of the offices, just whacking her
Fair.
away. My mom is going to be the one infiltrating from the back and like poisoning everybody.
That's fair. That's
Because she's
very
the
fair.
sneaky one from the back. Like,
My mom doesn't have time or patience for that. She's just no.
Exactly. Your mom's gonna be the one whacking her away.
That's fair.
My mom would be praying for your mom's souls. That's where we are.
That's fair. That's very fair. So my immediate family is not the highly religious part of my family. It's all the extended weirdos that I've never met, but doesn't seem to matter. So
Yeah. No, we have a lot of petty
yeah,
in my family.
ours are more like secretive, but they're gonna bitch at you in a way that you're definitely gonna find out about it. So it's just Or they'll tell me 6 months after my grandparents died through Instagram Messenger, like, by the way.
Oh, by the way,
Oh my god.
It's just
you
like,
know those grandparents you had? Oh yeah, they're gone.
yeah. It's just like, thanks. That's great. So, oh, I hope one day my cousin listens to this podcast because I really want her to hear how much I don't like these people. So,
It's like y'all don't have
Yeah,
to worry about me coming after whatever things you think I'm coming after because I don't like you.
it was weird.
Misty, you were like in for like a culture shock for my wedding because it's going to be so weird with the, you know, like the religious white people, and then your Hispanic and African American people who are a little religious, very religious too, but it's like a totally different side of the coin.
Yeah.
So
See,
it's gonna be
that part of your new family and everything, that will make more sense to me because that's what my high school was like. And so, like, that'll make probably a lot more sense to me than the religious crazy white people. So, because I'm related to those, so like I understand that too. So I'm at this point, I'm just so excited to go to your wedding. Like, they could do what they whatever they do, like, that's cool. But like, I'm just excited to go. So
I'm kind of scared to get them all together. Honestly.
it'll be an interesting,
It's
yeah,
gonna be an interesting situation, that's for sure.
yeah. Like, I know more about your family than I know about Ray's family, but like, it'll be interesting. So, but at least Ray's family seems like they're really nice. So
Yeah.
yeah, because like, they seem to really like you at the very least. So
Yeah, and honestly, Ray thought his like great grandpa wasn't gonna like me
yeah,
because I'm white,
yeah,
and like totally valid. Like he lived through that. Like,
yeah. That's fair. That's
and
valid. It's his
valid.
great grandfather. Like, yeah, he's seen some shit.
I wouldn't have been upset. Like, right, but no, he was like totally chill and liked me, and I'm like,
Well,
he's
to be fair, it's really hard not to like you. Like, come on. You're like the nicest person maybe ever. Granted, people don't know the deep, dark, like, sarcasm creature that lives within you that I get to hear. So, like, because let me tell you, there's like, Ariel's very sweet. She's a very nice person, but honestly, one day when you snap and you're just gonna start killing people, girl, like, I don't know what to do with that. So, like,
You know exactly what you're gonna do with that. You're gonna help her hide the bodies.
oh, of course, like, yeah,
wait, this is established.
Exactly.
of course. Like, come on. Why do you think I became like, I went and I majored in archaeology? It's because I know that the people in my life are one day going to snap. And I'm going to have to help them bury bodies. Like, I did this to plan for the future.
Exactly. She knows how to get rid of all the evidence.
Yeah.
I'm thinking ahead.
So, like, we've got a lot planned out, so it's fine. It's fine. So,
Yes.
we all have strong opinions, and like, especially for this movie and Umbridge, like the lawful torturing of children with blood magic is kind of like something none of us approve of. So
That is like the unseen side of the CIA that like you know about, but you don't really ever hear about.
I genuinely hope the CIA is not practicing blood magic on children, but it's the United States, so who really knows?
Some
I
of
mean,
the stuff we do in education is pretty torturous, honestly. So.
Fair enough. So
Wasn't it like, oh, I forgot when it was, but like wasn't it like in like the 70s that like the government was like testing people with like LSD to see how they would turn out and they handle
Yeah.
situations. So not surprised if they were doing blood magic on children.
I mean, we like, the U.S. and Canada just got through finding all of those bodies of Native American children from like not that long ago. So it's great. We live in people wonder why the world's the way it is, or why the United States is the way it is. Like, look what you did to people to form it. Like, nobody should be surprised that this is the way it is.
Like I'm so baffled when I meet people from like Europe and they're just like, oh, I would love to move and live in America. I'm like, why?
Like, no, you don't. No, you
Why?
don't. Look, the American dream is dead, and we're the ones who killed it. So, like,
No, we're not.
not our generation. No.
There you
Like,
go.
the Americans killed the American dream. Like, that's just
yes. Yes, they
like,
did.
no. The millennials, our dream was dead before we were born. Like, there was nothing to give. We
Our
had
dream
no
was
hope.
dying. That dream was dying off by the time we hit like elementary school.
Yeah, like that illusion broke at a young age. It shows that's why we are the way we are. And see, in Gen Z's the insanity that they are because they just never had any hope. So like
Yeah,
that they just
that's true.
started from
They had
ground
no
zero.
structure to go off of. It's just
No,
here
but you
you
know
go.
what? If something needs to get done, Gen Z will do it.
That's fair. I have never met
fair.
anybody more willing to just fully quit a job either. They're just like,
Like,
okay, bye. I would
the amount,
lose my
like,
mind.
how quickly they will organize to tear someone apart is just amazing.
It's very impressive. Like them canceling people like online is impressive because it takes like 24 hours max, and then like this person has disappeared off the face of the planet. It's just like, oh shit, okay.
Don't mess
So
with Gen Z, man.
they
remember
weaponized technology and social media, and it's just like we've just gotten lost in it. Like they weaponized that shit. I'm just like, okay,
I use my social media for purely fun reasons.
yeah.
They use it as a weapon.
Yes, they do. It's
I-
it's impressive as it is terrifying, and it's just like
I remember
sure.
a time. I remember a time where we're all just like, oh, I can't wait till millennials are in office in the government because because we know how to fix things. Now I'm just like, I want Gen Z in office because
Yeah,
they
let's
can get
skip our generation.
yeah,
just go to
skip the
Gen
millennials.
Z.
We've been through enough. Just put Gen Z in office and see how quickly they get shit done.
It's
We're
like
too tired to take off.
honestly, yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of holding like a position with like a sincere amount of responsibility is just awful sounding.
Unappealing, completely unappealing.
Completely. Just put Gen Z in office. Like let's just go for it. Like let's not wait until like the boomers and the all of that and the Gen X and everything get out. Like, now. The attitude that they have now, I want that in office. Like right here, right now. Like let's just put that in office that Gen Z has, because in all honesty, and like their willingness to just quit if they get pissed, like, or if they don't like something. For one thing, I can't fathom that. Because my first instinct is, how do you pay your bills? How are you paying?
I know,
your
that's
bills?
my first question. I'm like, do you have a backup set? Do you have a plan B set in motion that you can quit plan A?
And they don't seem to, but yet they're fine. And I'm like, what kind of bullshit backwards luck is this? I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, okay.
They just walk in and be like, here's my resume, when do I start?
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know
My
how they do.
siblings are Gen Z. It is scary the amount of boldness that they have, and I'm like, okay. They're like, they told me like, we're gonna come out to our parents during quarantine over the holidays. I'm like,
Your extraordinarily religious parents
good luck. Yeah,
Okay.
in quarantine
Bold.
when you can't
Bold.
leave.
I'm like, I can't even go over there to defend y'all. What the hell?
Yeah, that's whew. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, and that's bold as hell, and that's so Gen Z though. Like that's really Gen
My
Z.
sister is a weird mix. She's a cusper of like millennial and Gen Z. So
Yeah.
like sometimes she and I will think alike, and sometimes she'll do things I'm like, okay,
It's like, okay. It's
that's
like
not me.
you slightly a different generation. All right.
Mhm.
So, like, if you remember VHS tapes, but also like grew up with like Instagram, it's two very different things, but with a small window of crossover. It's
Yeah.
very strange, and it has resulted in an odd but terrifying hybrid of people between those generations. It's just like, because like they won't remember things like the millennial new year of like 2000, like that happening. Like they won't remember that.
Y2K.
But like and like Y2K, but yet they absolutely had a collection of like VHSs or like Game Boy Color games and stuff like that. And it's
Probably
just like,
because they were hand-me-downs from their older siblings, if they had older siblings.
that's true. That's very true. So, but it's, I don't know, it's weird. The whole world's weird. The whole world's going to hell, and we're gonna watch
going
Umbridge.
down with it. We're going down
Like
with
we're
it.
about to watch Umbridge, which is just like, if you could take the American political system and turn it into a person, like I feel like they've done that, and they've done
The
it
American
well.
education system for sure.
Yeah, the American education system as a person is Umbridge.
as a
because
person.
holy shit.
I have things to say.
Yeah.
I
What,
cannot wait to hear you say them.
oh yes. So I was so excited that you picked this one to be on, and I'm like having a teacher on to deal with Umbridge.
Well, like,
Mm.
Goblet of Fire is my favorite movie, even though I know people say it's dumb and trash and whatever, but I love it. And, but 5 was my favorite book, and this is like the bastardization of my favorite book.
Yeah. 5 was my favorite book too, and it's just like, but look, it's my favorite book for a very specific reason. That's because it has the most serious black content in it. So like, that's why it's my favorite book. So
it was my least favorite book.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
This had the most.
It was real confusing for me, like the first couple times I read it, because I'm going like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Once they get them being in the Ministry of Magic, it gets really turned around for like a little while. I'm just like,
I'm so fucking confused. I thought I understood what was going on, and I'm completely not.
Getting told that giant brains are like attacking Ron does kind of throw me for a little. Like that's fair. Like that is genuinely fair. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, that's okay. And yeah, and like how the time turners didn't like just send them all scattered through different parts of time is something I'll never understand. But also at the same time, like in the movie, you don't see any of that either. Like that is just all skipped right over, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Like I have so many issues with 4 and on when it comes to what like they left out of the movies from the books.
Yeah.
Like 4 and on, there's so much that they should have kept in.
Yeah, they finally got their shit together in 7 and just like split it, and they're like, this needs to be more than one movie.
Like you could have done 7 in one movie, and you could have split 5 into 2, and it would have made much more sense as a movie.
4 and 5,
the camping trip.
That was the worst part of reading the book too. It was like this just epic, like Lord of the Rings style, but like budget version of like a journey through camping, and it's just like reading their camping journey was like reading a dollar store version of Lord of the Rings, and it's just like you got so bored of it, and then it was just petty drama between the trio at that point, and it's just like that started to really drive me nuts, and it's just like, okay,
well, and if you've never read the books, like I had to like pause the movie when I was showing this to my fiance. I'm like, so this is what happened.
Yeah.
Let me interject and tell you the entire backstory of what the fuck is happening at this moment.
Like I don't really understand what happened, and I'm like, okay, that's because they cut a lot of crap out.
Yeah, they did. Like all of that stuff with Grindelwald and like all of that stuff about Dumbledore too. Like they cut all of that, and it's just kind of like, okay, because I was actually watching
in the most important parts. The 4th one with the gillyweed, the 5th one with the room of requirement. Like, come on.
Yeah, they cut a lot. Like with 7, they cut out so much, but they changed. I was watching a video actually yesterday about what they changed about Grindelwald from the 7th book versus like later on in the movies when they made that movie. Is in the movie Grindelwald in the 7th one gives away the location of the Elder Wand that Dumbledore has it to Voldemort, and in the book he didn't do that. He died with that secret and he took it to the grave, and I'm just like, and they were like, they kind of like ruined any character development Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts series will have, but like for the movies, by ruining his character in the movies by having him like ultimately betray Dumbledore. You're right. And so like there's no redemption arc there. There is in the book because he kept the secret, but like in the movies there's not. So I'm like, that's a really good point that I absolutely didn't put together because I don't really remember much about Grindelwald from the 7th Harry Potter book. So, but to be fair, they didn't really touch on him all that much either. So
we didn't get a lot of Grindelwald history.
Yeah, which is unfortunate just because their history seems really interesting, and like I really, it's if they would have for many reasons, I will not be watching the rest of the Fantastic Beasts series.
Neither will I, even though like it's there going, just watch the last one. Even though I'm like, no.
And it's just like, but they destroyed the American wizarding world, and it sucks. It sucks so much.
It's not captivating at all.
It's not, and like she built like a beautiful like wizarding world for Britain, and but it's very clear that the American wizarding world that she made is very much what a British person's take on America, but they have never looked at a book or a Wikipedia, been to the United States, has like seen a show set in America, like none of that. It's a very British version of America. Back in the beginnings of the universe when Ariel and I were doing our associate's degree together, Ariel and I made an American wizarding world, and it was much better. Just to brag about us, okay? Like it was much better. And like,
I'm sure it was, since y'all are fans and not just
true. Very
We're
true.
all about it. The fix-it years.
That's true. That's very, very true. Like but like we pulled from actual like lore and stuff like that, and we brought in a lot of like Native American like lore and stuff into it and everything like that, and the fact that there is no way in hell that our entire country only has one American wizarding school, because it doesn't. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It does not have just one wizarding school. There is no way in hell that those people in Texas are sending their kids to like Massachusetts. There is not. There's no way. There's no way that the people over in California are like, yeah, go to the East Coast. Like, no. Absolutely not.
Texans don't like Texas schools. Like, what?
Yeah. Like, yeah, like, no, Texas, I'm probably pretty sure Texas has its own wizarding school. Like, it just probably has its own wizarding school.
Like, honestly, like, the Hogwarts is for the UK.
Yeah.
That's like, where does,
it
how much of the US, there you go. I was gonna say, how much of the US does the UK cover? Like, that little section of, like, the East Coast, probably, the Northeast.
It fits, so like, the UK
would go to Ivelmory.
Yeah.
It's just the like, rest imagine going there.
Imagine how big Ilvermorny would have to be to accommodate how many students there would be. Like, it would be bigger than the largest university.
It makes no sense to have that magnitude of a school in Massachusetts, where like the state is like the size of 3 counties in LA, like in California.
And everybody in Massachusetts would just have to be magical. Like, because everybody who lives there to go to the school, like, it would have to be bigger than the largest university in the United States if you're talking about like the percentages of like magical to non-magical people. How many more people we have than the UK? And it's just like, that would have to be most of the population of Massachusetts at that point. Like, the school that I went to here in Florida was 60,000 students. It would probably have to be a school like the size of this university here. And it's just like, because that's a lot of kids. Like, even at a low percent of, like, I don't know, 3% or something like that, it's still a lot of fucking kids. And for how many years that it is, too. Because it's not like it's just 1 year. It's 7 fucking years of these kids at this school. And it's just like, no. There's no way it accommodates just one. So, no. As much as I like the way like the houses are named and stuff like that, like for Ilvermorny, I will let Ilvermorny exist, but it's probably one of like 5 wizarding schools in the United States. So, and that's just the United States. Canada has probably at least 2, and then because one of them is like a Beauxbaton's offshoot. Like, one of them is some kind of
the one in Quebec City or Montreal, one of the two, is going to be the Beauxbaton spinoff.
Yeah, and then the other one, I'm assuming the one in Mexico is probably in Mexico City, and probably like bases a lot of it, like their magic's off of the lore of, like through like the Aztecs and like probably the Mayans and like
their school is in the Aztec temples, like those big ass things that they built.
That
would
be so cool.
That's why like it's all cordoned off to the tours. Like, you just can't go and you cannot touch the ruins. When really it's just we actually have school
shit.
Here.
Okay. Now I want to be a wizard, but I want to be an American wizard, and I want to have the ability to do an exchange program. Like shit. So, and like American Wizarding World would be so different. Like, like even if we used wands and stuff like that, which we might not, depending on how like strong the colonial roots are in that. But like I don't also believe that the other schools are all using wands and stuff like that too. So. Because that wouldn't make much sense. So, because like the Asian countries, I can't imagine are using like European style wands. Like that would be weird. So, but then again, according to her, there's only like 7 wizarding schools in the world. So, or like
I feel like in the US the wands would be whatever is the current source of communication.
The ones in Florida would be made out of alligator. The ones in Texas, there's 2. One's made out of armadillo shell.
You know what? You know what LA is made out of? Not California, just LA. It'll be made of like soy and hemp and weed.
The weed one.
You know that's what LA is gonna have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's some vegan, it's some vegan, highly, earth friendly material, consumer made wands. Biodegradable if they break.
Your wand, you have to replace it like every couple years. This is just falling apart. Oh my god.
Because capitalism. It has to.
That's the worst part, is there's capitalism strongly in the American wizarding world. Like, you got that wand, but it's a discount wand. Mass produced. American wizarding factories. Now that's a nightmare. That's just that's a horrible, horrible thought. So, but we can go ahead and start watching The Order of the Flame Bird.
Flame Bird.
Look, it was a whim that made me type that, and in all honesty, like,
it works. Okay. I love it. So
now wait a minute. This movie came out in 2007. Didn't we just get through doing trivia that told us that Up came out in 2007? Are you fucking telling 9? You're telling me that Harry Potter was still coming out when Up was coming out? Like, that's... No. Up should have come out like 4 years ago, max. Like, not in like 2000. That's the... No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's been a while.
Take that
back.
I
think this is the first one I actually got to see by myself.
Order of the Phoenix?
Without a parent.
Yeah.
Without a parent.
I don't really recall watching the first one. I remember watching the second one because we had to leave in the middle of it, and that just pissed me off. Actually, we didn't leave in the middle of it. We left at the moment of Tom Riddle's like weird spirit creature from the diary like writing his name, and it turns into I am Lord Voldemort. We had to leave like right at that point, and I remember watching the other movie like 3 and 4, but I don't remember when I saw them. But I remember going to see 5, and then knowing I was like stealing myself because I knew I was gonna have to watch Sirius die. And I was just like, oh god. And I was just like, and it was just equally as devastating as, like in the movie to watch it as it was in the book. And it's just like, damn it.
I saw the first one in theaters like a week or 2 after it had come out. And then ever since then, I like from 2 and on, I went to every single midnight premiere.
I didn't go to any of the midnight premieres.
I went dressed up at all of them, not like majorly, but like I wore my at the time Gryffindor robes. For the 4th one, I had made my mom make me a bag, and I had like put like HP on it and felt with like a lightning bolt, and I put leaves all around it.
Aww.
And I took the 4th book with me to the movie. So my friend and I were just flipping through the book trying to follow along the movie. We're like, wait, you're going too fast.
Like, you've skipped whole chapters. Like, let me skip forward 100 pages.
Right.
But to be fair, like, the 4th and 5th book are huge. And, like, I think they're bigger than 7. And it's just like, those are movies you should have split. Like, corporate greed did us well by them wanting to like span it out and breaking the last movie into 2 movies. So like that was nice. But in all honesty, like it would have been nicer if they would have done it with the other movies. You could have done it a little sooner. So
especially 4 and 5 really set up everything else.
Yeah. Like 4, they skipped like a lot of like the tasks and like stuff like that, and like you can kind of get away with that. But 5 had so much that really set up, especially the last book, and it's just kind of like, Okay, because like Sirius's death in the movies doesn't really have much of an impact because he didn't have like a huge relationship and moment on the screen with Harry, whereas in the books he did, and he was a much bigger part of it and everything. And like I didn't sob over Sirius's death because he didn't mean anything. Okay, like come on, like don't do this to me. Of course, I don't know how great of a judgment I could be. I cried during reading New Moon when Edward Cullen left, so like I clearly have terrible taste. So.
Can I say how much anxiety New Moon gave me when I was reading it? I was having fucking anxiety attacks, like flipping through the pages. Like I would finish a page, my heart is just pounding. I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Mom's like, are you fucking okay? I'm like, oh, no, you don't get it. This book. I'm like, my 16-year-old dumb self is going, this is insane. And
That's fair. Like at 16, New Moon hit hard. Okay, like it was devastating.
Oh,
but
God.
I read that he left, and then I read and I was just like, he's not really leaving. And then when I got to oh no, he fucking left her in the woods. I literally just flipped to the last pages to see if he was in it, and he was, and I'm just like, okay, it's fine. He comes back.
I need reassurance. He's coming back.
Yeah, and it's just like it's fine. He's coming back. I immediately just flipped the whole book. I sobbed for a little while, and then I flipped the book over, and I'm like, no, it's fine. He's coming back. So, but I did put the book down for like several days at that point. Like I was just like I was pissed at the book, and I'm just like, because for some reason in my idiotic teenage brain, Edward Cullen was amazing, and it's just like that was. I don't have great taste in men, okay? Like, let's be fair. Because my backup choice was Jasper, which isn't great either. And
Jasper, I'm sorry, is 10 times better.
Oh, no, he's better than Edward. But, like, literally, Edward's, like, the bar of standard of Edward Cullen is in the ground. It's not on the ground. It's in it. And, like, you have to get a shovel to dig it out. So Jasper could just be, like, the bar could be on the floor with Jasper. And, like, it's still a lot better. So, like, yeah. But it took me rereading the series to like Jacob, because I didn't like Jacob through pretty much any of it. So, but I hate love triangles. So, and it's just like But like my Harry Potter people are Draco Malfoy and Sirius Black. They're not great, okay? Like, let's be fair. I am aware of that. I have like a fictional guy type. They're toxic, okay? They toxic. Like. Seriously, I've got Draco and I've got Sirius. It's no longer Edward Cullen, but it is Jasper. And like if you're looking at My Hero Academia, I've got Dabby, and he like it doesn't get much more toxic than that man. I love him. I love Toya Todoroki, but fuck. It don't get much more toxic than this man. And it's just like
I mean,
they've always been that way though. Like that's just my taste. Is they're toxic or they're short, and like there's no in between. Because like Edward Cullen and Toshiro from like Bleach and everything, those are not toxic people. They just real short for some reason, and like they're fine. So
now I have to ask: is Tamaki your favorite
from Auron? No, he's not.
Oh, that's right. It's twins.
Yeah. It's specifically Hikaru. Like, specifically. I don't know why. For the same reason I don't know why Fred is my favorite twin. Like, you have a favorite. I can't explain it, but I have a favorite twin.
No, I get it. Hikaru, totally.
Yeah.
But, like, more recently, when I actually, like, rewatched the series, I'm like, no, why didn't I ever go for Kyoya? Kyoya's usually the one I go for.
Yeah. Kyoya is amazing, but like Tamaki, I could see why everybody was drawn to Tamaki, but he really kind of annoyed me for a while.
He did annoy me for a while.
And I'm just like, but it was Hikaru, and I'm just like, again, not great. Like, I love the twins. Not great. None of them are great, but like, still, I don't have like my fictional men are allowed to be as like much terrible people as they want because they're not real. Like real men, like I don't date for a reason. Like, no thank you. But like my fictional men are allowed to be like as toxic as they want. Like even my comic book tastes of like Jason Todd are like, that's he just straight kills people. Like it's fine. So it's not great. So
see, my standards for my fictional men has like blown through the roof. And that's what I want reality to be, and I know it's not. So for whatever reason, my track record in reality is shit.
And both of us are saying that
Garbage.
somebody who is wonderfully engaged, to someone who is very nice to her, and to someone who is very supportive of her.
Someone, she lucked out. Ariel lucked out. I'm still getting fucked, and Misty's just like not even participating.
I met him at an anime club.
That's true. That's a great start. Like right there. Like, how did you meet at an anime club? Like immediately 10 out of 10.
The best part of that story is that it was the cosplay day. So he had his Akatsuki cloak, and that tells you my taste in fictional men there.
Akatsuki from Naruto. You want to talk about toxic men, like different levels of toxic.
His dad legit told him that day, if you keep wearing that, you are never going to get a girlfriend.
To be fair, he's gonna get a wife out of it instead. So,
like, and he came home with my number that day with his cloak. Like, he still has that cloak. It's actually been signed by Crispin Freeman.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
He made fun of me though, because like when I met the man, I'm like, I can't even say anything to you.
He could wear that for your wedding. You know, it is red and black, so
that doesn't quite fit with the Star Wars theme, but yeah.
I mean, make it a Star Wars / Naruto theme. Like it's fine. You know, he can wear like that hat that Itachi wears and the cloak and everything like that, and then you can have like your Leia like hair buns and everything like that. Like why not?
I think he would legitimately kill me if I made him dress up like Itachi. little bit of jealousy there.
That's fair. I'll get an ice sculpture in the shape of Itachi and a life size for you instead.
No, in the Texas heat in the summer, it will melt.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Because like, well, if you get hot, you can just hug it. So
I'm gonna need y'all to help me build like a set of nice bat wings, so when I finally find my future husband, he can wear them at the wedding, and I can fulfill my fantasy of bat wings.
Okay, that's cool. We can do that. I mean, like at this point, you shouldn't be surprised any of the weird shit that I'm willing to do. Like we just got through having a conversation today about me building a giant flower arrangement in the shape of a shark. If you got eaten by a shark, I was going to put it at your funeral, and like it's going to cover part of your casket and make it look like the shark's eating your casket. So you know.
Like, I forgot to amend that part in the conversation. I don't want a casket. I want you putting me on a ship to set me on fire.
Oh, Viking style. Okay.
Yes, I want Viking style. So shark literally eating ship.
I could get a real shark.
Full circle. You know. I get attacked by a shark.
Yeah, let it finish the job. Like, come on now. If it eats you, and if it eats you, like, then that's great, because then you don't have to pay for a funeral. But we can go ahead and start watching The Order of the Flame Bird.
We begin. The Flame Bird.
Flame. It's gonna be in our bloopers. Flame. The logo is getting creepier.
Yeah, the movies get darker as we go through our years at Hogwarts.
Yeah. The Harry Potter, like, the theme music as it starts is still one of the best sounds just ever.
So nostalgic.
It is. One of the only days in England that it's sunny. Like, look at it.
Dry it is.
It is.
That's for England. Like, that's
for a place that rains as much as it does. Like, geez, that's a lot.
Like, that could be mistaken for my backyard.
It does look like Texas. It looks like Texas, like, on an everyday situation. Like, that is the most depressing park. Like, there's like 3 things in it. Literally, not even the children are playing. And it's just like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that?
Right?
And Harry's already wearing the same shirt that he'll wear for the next several movies.
But what is Dudley wearing? Like,
Dudley saw one show off of MTV, and like that was it. And like that's what's like he's wearing a chain and like some kind of like I don't like how many layers is that kid wearing too?
At least 2 shirts.
at least 2 shirts. Like, and it's the summer in England, and like England does hit 100 degrees. Like, come on now. So like, why would you?
This fucking
Why?
dickhead of a kid. Where's your mom? Where's your mom? Like,
Literally, J.K. Rowling just went just as hard as possible when she created Dudley. How awkward it would be to stand there, like as the actors, and like threatening somebody by holding a stick to them, like, nah.
Well, you read that's why like Robert Pattinson held his wand like a gun
fucking
because
gun.
This is not
so
threatening
dumb.
feeling, just like you're holding a pencil, like, yeah.
I'm surprised that he can keep up with Harry.
That's yeah, like, but he's practicing boxing at this point, isn't he? Isn't that one of the reasons like he had lost weight in the series? Is that his parents had enrolled him to boxing to deal with his anger issues, and he was now built more like he's still like heavier like he is, but he was built more like a boxer too.
I guess.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
So it might give him more stamina, you know, like I would have died like running that far. Like, so like I'm just impressed more than anything.
Did you guys notice that the Dementors got creepier as the
Isn't that
movies
great?
went on?
Like they went creepier, and it's just like, oh, I didn't think you could. They look more like the wraiths from Lord of the Rings now.
Yeah.
Also, this is really the first time you see them physically touch anyone either. Because like they never touched anybody before, and like they're actually physically holding Harry like in midair.
Yeah. I think this one has. I think they have like a grudge against Harry for whatever reason.
Probably.
Other than they follow Voldemort, so
Yeah.
he is enemy number one.
I'm sorry, but in this moment, like Harry's getting attacked by the Dementors with his cousin and everything, he's pulling up his happiest memory at this moment in a way that he can concentrate on it.
Yes,
like,
and this is
I
How?
couldn't do that.
how.
And it's supposed to be like a stag there because that was kind of the whole point in the trial later.
Yeah.
Is like it's fully corporeal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's supposed to have a full blown stag, but yeah, they pretty much never show Harry's stag either. Like because they don't show it in the third one either. Not. I think like for a split second they show it in when Harry was back in time, but that was about it. So
Yeah.
look how close together these houses are. Like there is no division of yard or anything. That would drive me nuts. Also, Harry, sweetheart, what kind of way is that to help somebody walk? You have him like hugging. Like if this was a woman, he would be hugging your boobs. Like my dude, what are you doing? Like that
that's
is such.
how is he supporting him? How is he supporting Dudley when he's like already like crouched over?
Yeah, like stand up straight, arm over the shoulder. Like, what is wrong with you?
Harry's back is gonna kill him in the morning.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, look, Aunt Petunia is me right now. Like,
That's fair. Vernon is me though, like standing there with the freezer open, just eating ice cream. Like, no, that was me living in Texas. That's me living here.
Why is Aunt Petunia's dress so fucking short?
She's low key like a slutty 50s housewife. Like, come on.
Dudley looks like he's about to throw up slugs.
That was the most disgusting part in any of the movies was the slugs.
I kind of wish that they did do that, just as a spoof.
I still think they treated Dudley very wrong, like in the first movie. So, like this letter has lipstick on. Like the wax turned into like beautifully done lipstick, but still lipstick nonetheless.
Now, who's the one giving this memo to him? Like the voice? It's not Umbridge. Oh, there we go. Philda whatever.
Philda
Not bad.
Hopkins. Some really British name.
I don't understand why Vernon is so happy that Harry got expelled from the place that he gets to stay away from them from.
Like they were always trying so hard to keep him out of Hogwarts, but I'm like, he leaves you alone for like 9 months out of the year. Why would you want him to stay?
Like you don't like him anyways.
Yeah,
Like, you think that he'd be happy to get rid of him.
You would think so, but I don't know. Like it's really weird to me. Oh, look, more of Harry's little drawings. So many of owls. Like Harry must get so bored. He's over there just sketching owls. Like, come on. Like, what did he do? Buy these? No. Like Harry sketched drawings of owls just for hours on end. Granted, what else are you gonna do? So poor Cedric.
I know.
Poor Robert Pattinson. He really just his life just took a terrible turn after that movie. Like Voldemort killed him so hard, he ended up a vampire. So
One that sparkles. And then he became Batman.
Let's not talk about that.
Pat
That's
that.
terrible. I'm so tired of Batman movies. I'm sorry, but the key for this door is inside the room with Harry. Like he's locked in this room, but he's looking at the key. Yes.
Yes. What?
Well, how does that work?
Because that'll keep him locked in.
Oh yeah, here's the key, Harry. Lock yourself in the room for us, dear.
And he's just like, why are you people in my house?
Also, how mistrusting I would be of looking at Moody after everything that happened in the fourth book. Like, I've never had a real conversation with you. Sorry. Who the fuck are you?
And he just kind of settles into it like he's known him for so long.
Like, literally every conversation that they had during fourth year was actual Moody and, like, only an imposter for, like, the last hour. They have Harry's broom. Like, they got Harry. Wasn't Harry's broom, like, in his room with him a minute ago? Where did they get Harry's broom?
That can't have been his firebolt, because that was...
And it's got the little, like, designs of the firebolt.
Yeah, that looks like an older broom, not a firebolt. Because the firebolt
and it's just
is
like,
a lot more...
If it is a different broom, why didn't Harry just get to use his firebolt? Like, why did you bring a spare broom when you know he has one?
I know, so he can keep up with them, so they can all go at the same speed, because the firebolt, he'd be all at the very fucking front by now.
You're asking wizards for logic? Forethought? Planning? These wizards? No. It's sheer dumb luck.
I would love to ride a broom over that.
That would be really cool.
Over
I
the
wouldn't want to
Thames.
fall into the river because apparently it's very gross, but still. At this point, they're arriving at Grimmauld Place for the very first time. A hill I will die on is that this is not the Black family's ancestral, like, main property. Like, I will die on this hill. You're telling me the Malfoys have a manor, and the Blacks, who were so prejudiced against Muggles, voluntarily only have a main residence in a neighborhood full of them? Absolutely not. There is some kind of, like, extra properties or something somewhere. I will die on that hill. And because there's no way Valberga was willingly, like, here, surrounded by all of these Muggles. If,
in, like,
like,
the townhouse.
yeah, and, like, in a townhouse of all things. Like, they might have stayed for, like, you know, like it was the only property that was available or something like that. But, like, there's also nothing saying, because, like, Sirius would have inherited once his parents died and everything, because apparently all the Blacks are just dead. But he would have inherited the title of, like, Lord Black and everything like that. But there's an idea too that because when he was thrown in jail, he was like 21, 22, something like that. His grandfather would have still been alive at the time and probably was Lord Black, not his dad. So, like, maybe there's a manor property somewhere, like on the island somewhere, or even in, like, France or something like that, where they have, like, another property that's like the ancestral home and stuff like that. Because the Potters had one too. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't just that cottage. Like, they had their own, like, property where James's parents lived. So I read a lot of Pottermore a long time ago. So,
but you know, like, I want to interject that with. Can I say how annoyed I am with Molly that she doesn't let these kids in on anything that's going on?
Yeah, it's really annoying.
These things directly involve Harry and his life. If you want to keep him alive and not unalive him, like, you gotta keep him in the loop.
Yeah, it's really, like, over the next, like, couple of, like, books and everything like that, Molly really pissed me off. because she was so gung-ho about excluding Harry from absolutely everything. And it's just like, he's the one who faces Voldemort. He's the one who gets attacked. By hiding everything from him, you're just putting him in more danger. Like, that's so stupid to me. Like, why would you do that? And it's just like, because it's the same thing. I have a problem with those horror movies that do that too, where like the guy is like an FBI agent or whatever, and something's coming after him, and he voluntarily doesn't tell his wife and children that there's danger coming for them, so they get into terrible situations because you don't tell them. It's just like, maybe you should tell them when they're in danger, and they can look for it.
How have you stayed married when you don't communicate?
Fair point. And why? How does Hermione know that? How does Hermione know the origins of the Order of the Phoenix? She didn't read that in a book. She's eavesdropping. I bet you she's eavesdropping on people.
She's secretly using those of the extendable ears that the twins made, just not telling anyone, and then keeping up face of reprimanding everyone when they do use them.
Like, people should be really happy and glad that Hermione didn't become best friends with the twins instead. Because, like, the pure shit that would have happened with her genius and their genius, but with the chaotic energy thrown into it, holy lord. Like, Voldemort wouldn't have known what's coming for him, but none of the rest of the wizarding world would have either.
They'd be unstoppable. They'd be 100% unstoppable.
Why did the Weasley twins have to make the extendable ears look like actual ears? Like, that's like, I know they don't have a concept of like headphones and everything like that, but like, still, it's kind of creepy looking.
Couldn't like Hermione or at least Harry think like, hey, let me bring a microphone and just kind of bring it down, listen to the
headphones, would it not work with all the magic?
Like, yeah, because you have to like factor in the fact that the magic doesn't work, but like at the same time too, because like this takes place in the late 90s, I think. So like, how much technology do they have available to them at the time? Because like, I would have just bought a cell phone and been like, hey, my letters aren't getting out, I'm gonna fucking call you. So but then again, you'd never get me to walk into Hogwarts that didn't have the ability to access some kind of internet. Well, at least some kind of ability to make a phone call. Because, like, that would get really old. I can't go back to living in the 90s where, like, like you had to call somebody's fucking house phone
it's
like once a week or whatever.
I have an urgent question and I don't want to send an owl that's going to get back to me in, like,
nature's slowest flying bird.
I need to call my mom now, right? Not 3 days from now.
Can you imagine how pissed, like, if you were a Muggle student and you went to Hogwarts for the first time and you didn't know that like your phone and everything didn't work there, how pissed your parents would be? Because it would take weeks before they would hear from you again.
Oh my
like
God.
There would be a march on Hogwarts of angry Muggle parents.
My mom would throw a shit fit. She'd probably have a heart attack and then sue the school for giving her a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would my mom. Like, that would have not gone well.
As a teacher, I have a 24-hour return to calls and emails from parents. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, like, I can't imagine, like, how pissed the parents would be. But also, like, as the kids, like, you would know your parents are freaking out, and, like, you would kind of freak out, too. And be like, okay, but I have to contact them. How do I do that? Because this isn't going to go well. First of all, your thought would be, like, I'm going to get grounded within an inch of my life. But at the same time, who the hell wants to only be able to communicate with somebody through written owls every couple of weeks? It's just like, that would get old so quickly.
Like, as romantic as it is, but no.
Owls are like really stupid too, because they had so many problems training those owls to carry this stuff from one place to another. Like, how did this whole society manage to train owls to know all these different addresses? That's just not
and like, they know code names too, because Harry was writing to Padfoot for a while, and it's just like, that's putting a lot of faith in this owl. Like, that's a lot of faith and trust, pixie dust, into this owl. Okay. Like, there has to be any, like, Hermione spent like an afternoon and created those coins that the DA could communicate through. Like she invented texting like in an afternoon. Like, come on now. Like, if you can get that to work, there has to be a Muggle equivalent you could have used. Like and I'm sure like if it was all real and everything nowadays with if Hogwarts existed and stuff like that, give it like an hour or two and those muggles would have like those muggle-borns would have figured out how to make technology and their cell phones work, because they'd be like, no,
Oh yeah.
we're not doing this, like that's
Also,
just not happening.
I know, and I love watching Arthur Weasley like interact with all the Muggle stuff.
Yeah.
Just like going through the turnstile, the train station, like, oh my god, what's happening?
He's like the most wholesome man in this entire series.
He is. I absolutely like when Harry was first introduced to the Weasleys and Mr. Weasley asked him what the purpose of a rubber duck was. I was so mad that Harry didn't explain it to him. Like, just take 5 seconds and explain it to this very nice man what the purpose of a rubber duck is. Like,
It makes you smile in the bathtub.
Yeah, and it's just like you can squeak it and then like it floats in the bathtub with you and like there you go. Like, take this man to a dollar store or something. Let him have fun. A thrift store, even. Dumbledore, is he daft or dangerous? Dangerous. Definitely dangerous.
Definitely dangerous.
I like how the Ministry has like a statue like of a centaur, but yet they classify the centaurs as beasts and not people. So it's just like, yeah, okay. That dude has a fire-breathing creature in a cardboard box. That paper airplane like letter sending would drive me nuts too. First of all, somebody could just snatch it out of the air. I would take a giant net one day and just start swiping them out of offices that pissed me off, like just halt all of your memos for the day. Like, there isn't anything stopping that whatsoever. Okay. The guy on the next to Lucius, what the hell is that? Fudge?
Yeah, that's Fudge.
Why is he dressed like the Pope? Like, he's dressed like the Pope. Like, that is not... I don't know what to do with that. Oh, Dumbledore. Just inserting himself in things he doesn't need to be inserted into. It's just like, you so many other people could have been witnessed for this, but no, it has to be you.
I'm being stupid, but how did Fudge get so bad?
Government?
Yeah, like in all honesty.
Yes. The fucking woman is such an idiot. Describe them. One was skinny, one was fat. Not the children.
Like, why would you want somebody to describe it? Like, do you not know what a Dementor looks like, darling? Because they're controlled by the Ministry. What did you think she's going to say? Oh, it looks like a person? Like, no, it looks like a giant demon death creature. Like, come on now. And I like how, like, there's no real jury of the peers or anything. It's literally just a wall of government officials and a minor. There was no representation for this child. There was no... Like, he is an active minor, and he's entitled to some kind of representation, you'd like to think, or at least some kind of guardian has to be present. Like, I can understand why you wouldn't have the Dursleys, but the Dursleys should be here because their kid was one of the 2 people that was attacked.
Anything school-related, and this is technically school-related, the parent has to be contacted. Like, this is... Yeah. So not okay.
But then again, I don't think the wizarding world really gives much weight to, like muggles in general and like their authority over their children and stuff like that anyway. So unless it's signing a permission slip to Hogsmeade, then that's a little different because then that's law.
Right. Well, they got like 80 people here and only 3 people actually talk. Like, what is the point?
I mean, Dumbledore has a point. Like, what the hell is all of this that all of you feel the need to be here, dressed up in your weird little cult outfits to judge a 15-year-old? A 15-year-old who, at the very least, recently watched somebody he knows die. Like, leave the poor boy alone.
Those in favor of clearing the accused of
Isn't that Susan Bones' aunt?
Yes, I think that's her.
The only wizard here with common sense. That's why she's the head of the what the hell is it? DMLE? Is that what it's abbreviated to?
The DMLE?
The wizard, the Aurors. She's the head of that department of the Aurors.
Oh.
I don't think she is at this point, but I think towards the end she's the head of that department. What
Doesn't
universe is Mad Eye Moody not drawing the most attention out of everyone as they walk through the train station in what is obviously formation? His eye.
That too.
See, now, Peter Pettigrew, when he transformed in the third movie back into a rat, lost all of his clothes. And Sirius transforms wearing a robe. He could have put more on, because he... Like, they act like he, like, put it on afterwards, except for they showed his shadow when he was wearing it. And, like, he's kind of, like, holding it like he just put it on. But, like, he wasn't carrying it. Like, there was no robe hanging off of this dog. Like, what did he do? Transfigure it out of a chair?
He turned his fur into a robe. I don't know.
Like, you couldn't have transfigured some pants? Or, no, just a gaudy ass robe. He needs therapy.
Everyone needs therapy in this place.
Needs therapy. Yeah, that's fair. They all deeply need therapy. But Sirius, like, they should have gotten him therapy a long time ago, though.
That's true.
The poor logic of these doors, too, because, like, you can clearly see all of Mad Eye, but somehow Sirius was just a silhouette. Like,
yeah,
anyone passing by is not going to see Sirius.
That's very true. And, well, I mean, Voldemort has good taste in suits.
All right, he kind of pulls it off.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to ride this train.
Oh, yeah. Ani is coming to visit me in September. So, we're going to go to the Wizarding World.
I'm so excited!
Yay!
Potter.
He's literally... Voldemort was wearing the exact same suit as Draco Malfoy, just with a tie. Like, did they only have one suit? Like, is that what it was? Granted, the black on black, the way they wear it, looks really good. Like, you can't... Like, I'm never going to complain about that, but, like...
Ugh. I hate Cho. I'm sorry.
Oh, I do too.
Wait, what?
Cho.
Oh. Yeah, I don't like Cho either. What is Neville holding? What kind of...
Oh my god.
Some dangerous plant, probably.
Like, what happened to Trevor? Does he still have Trevor?
I don't think Trevor is ever mentioned again. Like, from that first book, I don't recall Trevor being mentioned after the first book.
I think you see him briefly in, like, the second movie when they're turning the animals into goblins. But,
oh, that's true.
Never by name.
That's fair.
Never by name, yeah. Just Luna being creepy. I can see them too.
And reading an upside down magazine. Like, okay. Everyone in this series needs therapy. Luna needs it. They all just need therapy. Start with Harry. No, start with Snape. Snape needs help. Like, decades worth of help. Like,
Snape needs a lot of supervision.
Snape needs to not be let around children.
Yes.
Because Snape's
ass would be fired so fast.
Oh. Snape is actively torturing children.
To where Neville is more afraid of Snape than Voldemort. Like,
yeah. He's more afraid of Snape than literally anything. He's more afraid of Snape than Bellatrix, the person who tortured his parents.
Right?
Like, that should tell you something.
This is true. This is true.
I love the shot of the table. One of these things is not like the other. They're bright pink. Everyone else is in black.
And isn't Hogwarts a private school? What business does the government have sending a teacher into a private school?
This
You'll
is
have
true.
to forgive me, but I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
This is true.
Like, last I checked, that's just not how that worked. I could be wrong, but hey. What do I know? Kind words of welcome that you just interrupted. Yeah, happy faces. That's what those are.
So many happy faces.
Like, their face, the kids' faces is my face whenever new government stuff comes out for school. It's like, okay.
That's accurate. Progress for the sake of progress must be discouraged. What backwards ass thinking is that?
That's Texas thinking right there.
That's so true.
Oh boy.
He's so happy. Phil's just so happy.
I still don't understand how the ministry is allowed to interfere in a private institution.
I feel like Hogwarts is kind of like those public schools that do have uniforms. That's what it kind of feels like in this movie, to where they're like, the government.
It's more like a charter school.
Yeah. They still get like their funding from the government. They still have to follow the same standards, but they can kind of have a little leeway. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
This escalated quickly in the movie between Seamus and Harry, and how much
Yeah, because in the books, didn't they like go back and forth for a while before it got to this
they
point?
did. They went back and forth for a bit, and they wasn't this hostile either. Like it was like words were said, but it was a lot of like passive aggressive stuff. Like, I'm just gonna ignore you now, and like versus this.
Said I'm fine, Ron.
Everyone is like mad all the time in this one.
They are. They're always pissed. It's just like, okay.
I mean, they are 15 at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Like at 15, they're just angst and trauma and hormones.
And now we're dealing with losing a fellow student.
Yeah, they didn't deal well with that either.
Oh,
just sweep everything under the rug. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because Harry has some serious PTSD going on here.
He does. And like, it would be really nice if somebody gave a shit about Harry. They don't, but it would have been nice if somebody would have given a shit about Harry.
Like, even though everyone is counting on Harry to be the one to defeat Voldemort, it's like, you really don't treat him well.
No.
Like you gotta
expecting this kid to be able to like defeat the darkness and everything, but you treat him like you treated Voldemort. So maybe that should worry you.
This woman is a fun sucker.
Oh, she is.
Study hard. Fuck you.
Yeah, study hard. It's just like, I mean, I've had teachers that just didn't do their job very well, but I would have walked out of this classroom so quickly.
So fast. That book is so outdated.
How do you have a class called Defense Against the Dark Arts and don't teach any defensive spells. Like, then again, at the same time, it reminds me of just taking our statewide testing in Texas. It's just like, how do I have to get tested on this and you didn't teach me any of it?
She's not even teaching them test taking strategies. She's just like, read the book. At least Texas does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just here, read the book. That's all you need to know.
This is one of those things where the questions were taking off of a Google like a search of like, what kind of questions can I ask about this book? And like that was it. Like when you go on one of those quiz sites or whatever, and you can find the exact like quizzes from that you're taking like online with the answer sheets and everything like that. Because that's hilarious to me, because I've done that. Like, you'll be looking for, like, answers and stuff like that, and you'll find the exact quiz, and you're like, oh, no, they just pulled this off the internet. That's fine.
This is a lie.
Is a lie.
She screamed at my child. That is a violation. Someone write her.
Somebody write this down. She's making more violations than the students are at this point.
Like, screaming at a child is a violation. What? Where does the I'm gonna, have them write with this quill in their own blood, taken from their own body while they're writing, fall under?
Oh my god. Sure. I'm so fired. Like,
but then again, it's ordered by the government. So
true.
Yeah, that's so there it is.
Also, Umbridge, less is more.
Like the amount of sugar, like her sugar was also like pink. I don't know how you did that, but like her sugar was pink, and it was just like, okay,
how do you make a villain like be despised utterly and completely by everyone who comes across her and put her in pink?
I mean, it's kind of impressive, in all honesty. She has a picture of the Minister of Magic facing her on her desk like it's her husband.
She probably wishes.
Honestly, he's lovingly at it, caresses it when she's drinking her tea for the afternoon.
The way she talks about him, though,
like a stalker. Like an active stalker.
Because she doesn't call him Fudge, she calls him Cornelius. Like, she's on a first name
BFFs.
Like, why are you all on a first name basis with this guy?
That's kind of weird.
I hate the look on her face, too. She looks like so, like, concerned. But she's not.
It's like, are you hurting? And then, like, she knows, and she's trying to, like, show concern. But, like, this is truly gaslighting at its best. Like, this is almost impressive with the way that she twists this. This is some red flag bullshit. Like, this is the making of a serial killer. Like, there. Like, she is one cracked teacup away from murder.
Really? Is that why you treat her like shit?
Continuously.
You're the most wonderful person I've ever met.
Continuously, Ron treats her like garbage throughout the entire series. But no, they get married. It's fine.
And have 2 children.
No, Harry, you should definitely report that.
Like, I don't want to report it because Dumbledore's got enough on his plate. Harry, darling, there's more teachers than Dumbledore here. Like, can you imagine the ape shit that McGonagall would go if you walked up to her? It's like, hi, this teacher used blood magic on me. What do I do about that? And you could prove it with 1, Viridiserum, or 2, that weird memory bullshit that Dumbledore keeps in his office, the Pensieve.
Oh, the Pensieve,
put the memory in it. You could just literally stand there and watch her torture Harry by making him use a blood quill. Like, if you'd like to watch it, you can watch it on HD TV Sync. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
HD TV Sync.
I mean, it's no flat screen, but it's got a pretty clear picture.
She is barefoot
And, like,
in the woods.
I know they steal her shoes a lot, but, like, sweetie, walk around the castle. Do something. Bring a second pair of shoes, first of all. Or, report that shit. Like, she doesn't seem to care, but, like, at the same time, just like, yeah, thanks, Luna. I really appreciate the fact that you support the fact that Voldemort's back. I'm not really sure how that helps me. And when literally I have a teacher that's torturing me and a bunch of other people that have known me way longer than you don't believe me at face value. So
And you're out here with your shoes off in the Forbidden Forest.
like, girl, forbidden, like, I don't know, forest fungus or something like that. Like, like forbidden forest splinters or something.
And yet she's the best representation for Ravenclaw in the entire series.
And isn't that horrifying?
I love how McGonagall handles herself with Umbridge, and like just the day that she snaps against her is just chef's kiss.
I'm a total.
I'm an extension of the minister himself. Like,
Is this not
what the fuck, girl? Like, if you want to date him already, just do so. Cornelius will need to find out about this. Like, I bet he hates her. Like, I bet Cornelius Fudge hates this woman. He probably sent her to the school to get rid of her for a little while. He's like, 9 months without Umbridge? Oh my god. And then just threw her.
She probably did volunteer for this, though.
Umbridge,
And that's horrifying.
High Inquisitor have powers to address the seriously falling standards at Hogwarts School.
Oh, hey, Percy.
Traitor.
That's not real.
Now, I'm not a fan of Trelawney, or her teaching, or her subject, but if I had Umbridge sitting in my class, like if I'm teaching a class and I just have her sitting there, like right under me, like just right beneath me, taking notes and questioning everything I say and do, I would just be like, I would also not perform well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Something Ariel do on a regular basis.
this is my life.
Yeah.
I actually do have like a principal will come in and they will stand there and they will sit there and they will make notes about how my performance is.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's very aggravating, but I have to do this every year. And especially when it's fine when the person just sits there and makes their notes and then you talk about it later. But when they're like Umbridge and have to like weigh in, I'm like, oh my god, could you shut up? This is my classroom. Like that
You are
face
not the
right
teacher.
there.
Yeah, in all honesty, like, no.
This is my life, y'all.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, you have to deal with that a lot. I do feel bad for Trelawney when she tries to, when she tries to do this and, like, get kicked out. And she's, like, pleading for them not to let her, to, like, kick her out and everything. And they're just throwing all of her stuff, like, in the courtyard.
In front of all the kids, like,
Yeah.
and there are some kids who actually do enjoy her class and like her as a teacher.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be me, but
Wouldn't be me.
Mhm.
yeah.
All right, y'all. As we descend into further madness and chaos that is the reign of Umbridge terror, I think we'll leave this here, and you guys can pick up with us next week as we watch the rest of Order of the Phoenix or Order of the Flame Bird, and we'll see. Well, we're just gonna see things get a lot worse, to be honest. And in all honesty, for Harry Potter, his life just really goes downhill from here. So stick around. We'll see you next week, and Ariel will be joining us for the second half. So, and thank you so much to Ariel for joining us. And until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Tune in next week for more fuckery because we have some serious questions and concerns.
Order of the Flame Bird.